and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren and the Books. I hope you're all doing very, very well. I'm going to put my feet up on the chair opposite. Oh, that feels nice. Today's video is the end of the year book tag. I think that's what it's called, I'm sure it is. I've just realised I've written the questions down and the answers to go with it, but I haven't written the actual name of the tag. I'm sure it's called the end of the year book tag. This is a tag that I've done. I definitely did it last year. I don't know if I've done it before, but I remember last year watching a lot of people's videos of them doing the end of the year book tag. Maybe even before the end of November. The reason I do this at the end of November is because in December I read all Christmas books. So my sort of reading plans for the year, essentially, in terms of new releases and books, etc., that aren't Christmas books, ends at the end of November, because then I just read Christmas books. So I always, when I've done this before, I must have done it more than just last year. Anyway, I do it at the end of November, so here I am. There are 6 questions, and it just sort of talks about it's a good way to sort of like round up your reading year before you do your best books of the year, which will be coming out in January. Can you believe it? We're getting into best books of the year territory. Very excited. So the first question is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? Now, I started Unwell Women by Eleanor Cleghorn like in the summer. I bought this when the bookshops opened up again. Was that June? Or maybe before then, at Harbour Books in Whitstable. I went and had a bit of a spend up in there, and I bought this with such excitement. I'd seen it on their website and I'd seen a few people talk about it. It's a non-fiction book about women's health through the ages, starting literally in like ancient Greece and coming all the way up to sort of the present. I have got as far as, I'm in the 1940s. And oh no, 1925 I think it said here. So as you can imagine, this was very, I felt very interested by this. So I was sort of relating it a little bit to, I've got to the point now where it's getting to the point where we started watching Call the Midwife during lockdown. Was that this year? No, I think it was last year we started watching it. And that's about midwifery from the 1950s onwards. And has a lot to do with women's health, as you can imagine, because they're not just midwives, they're also community nurses and things like that. So I'm getting to the point now where this is sort of matching up with what I've got a little bit of base knowledge on, based on having watched Call the Midwife. I think this might be a little bit too academic for me, just based on the fact that I started reading it, was really into it, and then I haven't gone back to it. I've sort of maybe picked it up and read like a couple of double pages. But yeah, I'm on page 208 now. A lot of the back of this is, as you can expect with a non-fiction book, biography. So I probably am more than halfway through it. I would like to get it finished by the end of the year, but it's not very readable for me. I know other people have found it much more readable, but yeah, I don't sort of sit down and just immerse myself in it for an hour. I find my mind wandering. I wonder if I might have enjoyed it or gotten better with it had it been an audiobook, because then I could sort of like be doing other stuff while I'm reading it. But yeah, so that's the only book I've got, I guess, that I would like to get finished, or need to get finished by the end of this year. The next question is, do you have any autumnal books to transition into the end of the year? Now, I sort of feel like I've already done this. In October, I had a bit of a spooky TBR, where I read a few thrillers and some witchy books and things like that. And that, to me, is the sort of transition into the end of the year. And then, as I've previously mentioned, I always read Christmas books in December. So that, to me, I feel like I've done my transition and I've got my Christmas books coming up. Question 3 is, are there any new releases you're waiting on? Well, the short answer is no. However, I do have a proof of a book that's coming out on the 20th of January. And I think I might get this, I might read this after Christmas, and that's East Side Voices, which is edited by Helena Lee. These are essays celebrating put a TH in there, East and Southeast Asian identity in Britain. Now, what drew this to me, this is published by Skepta, what drew this to me was Gemma Chan's name on here. Gemma Chan has done an essay for this collection, and I've become a bit obsessed with Gemma Chan. She's an amazing actor. She's recently, I saw her in Eternals. I was going to call it The Eternals, but I'm told it's Eternals by David. One of the new Marvel Universe movies, and she was amazing in that. And I've seen her in, I've sort of followed her career almost since the beginning, really, when she was in Fresh Meat, and saw her in Humans, and then she was actually in another Marvel film. She was in Captain Marvel too, and she's blue in that, so she's a different character to the person that she is in Eternals. But that's what drew me to it. But it's also got other names from Asian and Southeast Asian, East and Southeast Asian names, like Katie Leung, who played Cho Chang in the Harry Potter films, Charlene Teo, and there was one other one on here I recognised as well, Rowan Hiseo Buchanan as well. So yeah, I'm very much excited. I love a sort of collection of essays, and I feel like this will be really, really interesting. So yeah, although this isn't a new release I'm waiting on, there's every chance I'm probably going to read this new release, which actually comes out in January this year. So that is the answer to that. Then question 4 is, what 3 books do you want to read by the end of this year? Now, as I said, I've got Christmas reading coming up, and I've got some books that I mean, there will be a December TBR going up at the beginning of December, which has got all my Christmas reading books on it that I'm very much looking forward to reading. But I've got to mention 3 books of that I'm really looking forward to. The first one is a bit of a shocker for me, but I'm so pleased at how excited I am to read it. I'm a bit embarrassed to mention it. It's A Christmas to Remember by Anton de Beck, which was bought for me by somebody off of my wish list. So thank you. Anton de Beck is not an author. He is a ballroom dancer and now judge on Strictly Come Dancing. He was previously a professional dancer, but now he's a judge on Strictly Come Dancing. And I just feel so excited for this. Like, it just feels like it's going to be really cozy, very Christmassy. Someone's written down here, Downton with dance, perfect. And it's set at Christmas, so I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to take me a bit of time, because it's quite a chunky one. But yeah, I'm very much excited to it. If I get to the end of November and I'm thinking, like, it's the 29th of November, I don't want to start it, I might start this, because this is like historical fiction with a Christmas edge. It's set in London in 1938, and it's set at the Buckingham Hotel, and it says, when fiercely independent chambermaid Nancy Nettleton first moved to London, the last thing on her mind was finding love, let alone falling for the debonair dancer Raymond de Guise. Anton de Beck, Raymond de Guise. As the festive season approaches, life at the exclusive hotel is busier than ever, with guests arriving from around the world seeking comfort, relaxation and refuge as tensions build across Europe, as it looks like another war is imminent. Behind the scenes, the staff work tirelessly, ensuring the smooth operation of the hotel and guarding the secrets of their guests, but they will have many of their own that have been that they fear will be revealed. As the band strikes up in the grand ballroom to celebrate Nancy and Raymond's wedding, one thing is for certain: this will be a Christmas to remember. So Nancy and Raymond get together then, don't they? That's so funny. Lovely. Oh, maybe this is the second in a series then. I don't know. It's got a list of characters at the beginning of the book as well, so yeah. But I just feel really excited about this. I don't know what it is, but I'm really looking forward to it. Next up, another Christmas book is Stay Another Day by Juno Dawson. This is the book that we're reading for my Patreon Christmas book club. David and I are reading. David joins in for Patreon Christmas book club. And I always look forward to Patreon book club every month. But Christmas book club is like a bit more of a party atmosphere. As I said, David gets involved. We get a lot new members, a lot of people want to join just for the Christmas period, so very much looking forward to this. If you would like to join for the Christmas period, the vote is no longer open. I always do a vote at the beginning of the season, to the beginning of the previous month, to pick what book it's going to happen. Well, this won the vote, but if you'd like to read this with us, we'll be reading it on Sunday the 19th of December. Then please do click, there's a Patreon link down below if you'd like to join. But yeah, so this is a thriller, and a sort of like YA thriller. It's set in the McAllister, Home Alone, McAllister house on I really struggle with this word, Arboretum Road. And that has been, it's a house that's been there for, it says here, has seen 120 Christmases since its completion. This year, Fern is bringing her gorgeous boyfriend home and she wants everything to be perfect, but her twin brother Rowan would rather go on the pool than pull crackers with the family, and their younger sister Willow is terrified of Christmas Day. All tree names there, aren't they? And they're on Arboretum Road, lovely links. With only 4 sleeps till Christmas, 3 secretive siblings, 2 hot house guests and 1 juicy secret, this Christmas there will be some big surprises under the tree. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that and having a chat. I don't think we've read like a sort of thriller book for Christmas before, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't think this is sort of like super thriller, but yeah, it also says not suitable for younger readers, so YA, but the A side of YA. And then the last book of the 3 books that I want to read by the end of the year. Earlier this year I filmed a video where I talked about 5 books which I was certain would get 5 stars from me, and one of those books was The Other Bennett Sister, which definitely did get 5 stars. I'm trying to remember what the other books were. Anyway, one of them, have I read the one that was on this month? oh yeah, it was Monsters by Emerald Fennell. I gave that 4 stars. But the last one I've got to read this year is This One Sky Day by Leonie Ross. Look at that. This is the book that I also bought from Harbour Books when the bookshops opened back up. And yeah, I feel very excited about this. Again, it's a big old chunker, so I need to get a move on with it. This is set on an archipelago. I love saying archipelago, but I also love books set on islands too, and it's set on the archipelago of Popicho. The world is stirring awake again, each resident with their own list of things to do. A wedding feast to conjure and cook, a cheating husband to discover, a lost soul to set free. As the sun rises, 2 star-crossed lovers try to find their second chance at abiding love. When night falls, all have been given a gift, like a superpower, and many are no longer the same. The sky is pink, and some wonder if it will ever be blue again. So yeah, it is a book set about people getting gifts, and I think some of them are like really big, your classic superpowers, like being able to fly, being invisible and things like that, and then some are much smaller and much more niche. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this, and as I said, I need to get a wiggle on with that as well, really. Number 5, is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favourite book of the year? Like this, I mean, it wouldn't be a shock because I've already thought I would give it 5 stars, but yeah, I feel excited about this book, and I think it could definitely become one of my favourite books of the year. And then question 6 is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Yeah, like I'm constantly making plans for stuff. What I tend to do because my birthday is at the end of November, and any books I get for my birthday in November, I don't tend to read until after December, because as I said, that's David blowing his nose. As I've said, I read Christmas books in December. So January is normally read the books that I got for my birthday and for Christmas, which is a lovely month. So it means I'm reading lots of new books and everything like that. So yeah, I have started making reading plans. What I haven't felt formalised yet is, for the past few years I've done a month where I've read a classic and then I've read retellings of that classic. So this year that we're talking about now, I did Little May. Still regret that I never called that Louisa May Alcott. And in May I read Little Women, and then I read lots of retellings of Little Women. Then last year I did Pride and Prejudice and read Pride and Prejudice and lots of retellings of that. And the year before that I did June Eyre, where I read Jane Eyre and lots of retellings of Jane Eyre. I haven't thought up one for next year yet, so if you've got any books if you've got any classic books that you know have lots of brilliant retellings of, then please do let me know, because I'm still open for ideas for that. So that'll be, so that's something that I haven't planned yet, but I know I've got to. Other reading plans, I've said, I was talking about, I did a live show earlier this week for celebrating 15,000 subscribers. That's 50. And I mentioned that I'd like to join in with a few more readathons and things like that. Readathons? Yeah, like the Irish readathon is the one that is the only one pretty much that I join in with every year. So I'm gonna have a little look at that. Oh, that was the loudest bird that just went. Did you hear it, David? It was so loud. Oh, you've frightened Minnie. So yeah, readathons are on my. I haven't looked at any readathons that are going on next year yet, but yeah, if you know of any good ones, let me know. So yeah, that's my end of the year book tag. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what your end of the year reading plans look like, and I'll see you all again soon for another BookTube video.